Welcome back. This is a video I wanted to make for a little while now, but I couldn't find the time until now. So we are going over a record of Ragnarok, the Netflix series.
Oh,
So
joy of joys.
this is gonna go great. We're gonna hope not to get copyrighted. I have a few ways. I have a watermark. I have multiple things that go over the screen, and hopefully YouTube won't screw me. Like I just screwed myself. 1 second. Oh yeah, almost screwed myself because I accidentally got rid of the computer audio, but I fixed it before it became an issue. Let's try not to have technical difficulties. So,
I,
hopefully, with all these precautions, we won't immediately get yeeted. If something important happens, I'll just toggle the layers on and off. In fact, I'm going to group them together so I can toggle them on and off really quickly.
all right, uh, you know, ever since the trailer of this, I was not looking forward to this at all.
Same here.
Trailer looked awful and cherry picked as trailers usually do.
Well,
Uh,
like, the problem was that even though it was cherry picked, like the best content from the thing, it still looked bad.
yeah,
Like
it.
Keyshawn comes from an animation background. You're
Yes,
currently in school for it right now.
I am in an art college in an animation background. I know how to do animation, rigging animation, and I know how to do shading for it. I know how to render it. I'm not an expert on it, but I definitely know how things are supposed to look and work. And yeah, it was all downhill from the trailer, honestly.
So I've seen this. Have you seen this already?
No, the only thing I have seen is like 10 seconds from AMV,
Mm.
and I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified.
Mm. So I think that I have this on the dub right now because I refuse to watch it to read subtitles for this. I think I'm going to leave it on the English audio just so we can focus more on the actual animation because we know that the story itself is good because we've both read most of the manga. Um, and well, I'm sure we've read all the manga that this is going to cover.
Yes, I have definitely. I'm caught up to the manga, so needless to say, I know what to look for in the story. Uh, so it's gonna come really down to the visual presentation of this whole thing, which is just gonna be great. I only can only guess.
Yeah, I just hope I don't have to heavily edit this video down, but we'll see how YouTube goes. But it starts off pretty bad, so let's just jump right into it, okay?
Oh yes, let's do that. I did forget to ask. So how exactly did you want to do this? Are you just gonna like pause it every single time we have commentary, or are you just gonna are we just gonna talk through it?
Uh, when you start talking, I will pause, and then afterwards I'll edit it down how it's supposed to be.
Ah, okay, I gotcha.
At long last, 7 million years of human history is about to come to an unforeseen end. The apocalypse shall not occur from the fallout of nuclear war, extraterrestrial invasion, nor catastrophic asteroid collision, but rather something else. The extinction of mankind shall be ushered forth by the will of the gods, the very beings who created the human race, and who have now chosen to destroy it.
Right. It's time now, Brunhilde. Looks like everyone's ready.
Well then, everybody. It's been some time since we've all been together, hasn't it? Let the Council of Valhalla now begin.
So I think There's enough to talk about from what we've seen already.
Oh boy. Um. All right. Well, I'll say this. It is not looking good so far. Um, I can't say that so far it looks bad per se, but I could definitely. I'm not grooving with
The art
it.
style itself is fine. It's just the animation that they used is not there. So let's go back from the beginning.
The apocalypse
We
shall not
have
occur from
a
the
panning
fallout
shot. Can I speed this up? Oh, perfect. We have a panning shot.
extraterrestrial invasion.
I wish I could speed this up even more.
Very beings who
Another panning shot,
Ready.
chosen to destroy
and then it goes into the first bit of animation, completely still, except for the mouth moving.
It's time now, Brunhilde. Looks like everyone's ready.
So one of the reasons why people usually do this is because they want to save the budget animation for fights in the show. And I can understand that. It's because there are some Western shows that do that
I would
same
agree
thing.
with you
However,
if the fights were better.
like standing completely still, like there is literally no movement for the first
It's
30
pretty
minutes.
egregious. And then it has a solid, like, 10 seconds, like, about 5 frame, no, not frames, 5 shots where there's no animation and just panning and watching slides move around. No animation. No animation. Oh, he opened his eyes. There's some.
Well then, everybody.
No animation.
Time since we've all been
So,
together, hasn't it?
Oh, his
Like-
beard's moving. That's it.
I'll begin. Deities have assembled here from the world over to decide on the fate.
And then he has this weird pulsing effect, which is just him gyrating in between 2 different shots of him with slightly different, like, styles.
oh my gosh.
So let me ask you: should we allow mankind to exist for another 1,000 years?
Again,
So-
more panning shots. Only his lip is moving.
So the funny thing is that I can't even blame people for doing. Like you could technically make this work, right? It's been done before, and I understand where a lot of it is coming from. Because here's one of the reasons why I don't really, you know, I'm not really blaming anybody or like really harping on these scenes too much, is because making crowd shots like this, even when everybody's like in a council meeting like this, it's insanely difficult because you have to move every single piece, and I understand that. However, you could make the poses or what they're doing a little bit more interesting. I mean, these are gods for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like they don't all have to be, you know, set position A for a lot of these shots. You could have them doing other stuff because I know in the manga that was the case. They were all doing different crap. Uh but I digress.
It gets
So
really egregious when they start talking. You'll see.
oh no.
And forgive their crimes? Or alternatively, do we put an end to them for eternity? By the will of the gods, you shall show me what you have chosen.
Over here.
Whoa. Go back. Wait. Rewind. Play that again?
To exist for another 1,000 years and forgive their crimes? Or alternatively, do we put an end to them for eternity?
What the heck?
By the will of the gods, you shall show me what you have chosen.
Over.
Oh god, what the fuck's wrong with Netflix? Did you see that?
yeah.
That might be a problem
okay.
with OBS capturing Netflix.
Okay. All right. So my eyes were not deceiving me. I'm gonna guess that it's like there are a couple things different with this. We have it at 1.5 times speed, so some
Let me
stuff is just gonna look like a little bit weirder. Cause I was like, whoa, that walking animation was way too fast.
Nah,
It looked unreal. I was like, wait a second.
By the will of the gods, you shall show me what you have chosen.
However, I
Over
do
here.
notice something. Okay,
I
so
see you finish off
that
already.
I guess that's fine,
I've watched
but there is one thing we had it at 1.5 times speed, there was just kind of like a whole lot of nothing.
Yes.
That's the amazing part. It's
There's
a whole lot
long
of
parts with
nothing.
no animation. Right now, Sheba's the one talking. Only his lips are moving, and it's giving the illusion of animation by having a zooming out, spinning pullback shot, which is just, just framing. They're taking the same shot and they're just rotating it and pulling it back a little bit. It's the illusion of animation.
Yeah. See, the thing, one of the weirdest things about critiquing stuff like this is because when one when one when one movie or piece of art does it and another when two pieces of art do it, one can be called like a genius while the other one can be called trash. But the reason why is because there's a clear intent behind the decisions. uh the reason the reason I say that is because when characters are still, it is good to have like camera movement so that the audience is still engaged. However, there has to be reasoning behind that movement other than trying to make the illusion that something is happening.
Yes. Also, having characters that are standing still shift their weight or cross their arms or maybe just make a small movement with their fingers is a great way to make your characters feel alive. No human being stands perfectly still. Even if they're sleeping, even if they're lying down, they'll stretch out their shoulders, they'll move their arms. He is in such like a lied back dynamic pose, perhaps he'll push their head further back. Like there's no reason why someone should be standing still for an entire second if it's animated. It feels
To
like
give
I'm
you
watching
guys
a picture book that someone's filming.
to give you guys a great example of this, there are ways of okay, so again, one of the reasons why people do this is to save time and budget for some other stuff. However, there are ways of getting away with this without like actually like keeping the character still. Just like Andrew was saying, like you could have people shift their weight, or simple stuff like a head turn, or like fidgeting with the fingers or something like that. There are easy ways of keeping a lot of the body still without really a lot of them like without being motionless, you know?
This is stuff that
And
you're not supposed to notice. If you notice it, it's
exactly.
done badly.
Exactly. And that makes your animation feel more alive. However, you're not supposed to keep whatever they're doing, still.
Yeah. And the examples just get more egregious as the episode goes on.
And I haven't caught any sign of them learning from their mistakes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up.
Shiva's right.
All right. So Shiva is on his own layer, right? I could tell that
Yes.
that was a weird choice. That was a weird choice to do. Shiva's on his own layer, and they have him floating downwards as the camera is pulling back. And I get that it's with the transition, that is trying to go with the transitions, but that was just kind of a weird choice for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just trying to
I don't know if
visually
I like.
depict what he's talking about. But again, it's another frozen frame. The only animator who's doing any work is the dude doing the effect assets.
Just as he says.
Because shit's just standing still. Only the mouth moves in almost every single scene.
Clear and ugly.
And I get like they're gods, they're trying to stay posed, like minimum movement. But it doesn't change the
Okay,
fact that this is just one long panning shot. And the only thing that moves
Time goes
is the water.
becomes uglier and uglier.
okay, so I'm just gonna be real though.
And this is like
Uh,
what, 3
oh,
frames that it's cycling from?
yeah, if Netflix is doing how Japan usually does it, then Uh,
The forests
it's
are
every three
suddenly
frames for
countless
24.
creatures at
Maybe
once.
there's a little bit
Sometimes
less because it's
their
water.
lives out of control.
However,
They've become
I'll just let you guys know right now. Taking animation classes and how my teachers are, if I turned in anything like this, I get an F.
Yeah,
Like
this is
straight
really
up.
bad. Like look, they're talking but they're just standing perfectly still.
That's
Zooming, panning, no movement, no animation.
Now then,
There's some animation, but it's been after 2 seconds of fucking nothing. Like, it's beyond
They're
lazy.
ooh, ay. From a technical aspect, this just okay. This is another thing that I noticed. Have you noticed how like stylistically all of them are a little bit different? Like Zeus's apparel has a lot more harsh shadows in it. How it has a lot more harsh shadows and shadows in general.
Well,
And
we're
there's a lot
sitting
of
in different lighting.
that's very true. However, I couldn't help but notice that. I don't know. That just it strikes me as a bit off.
Mm.
I also do not like the gyrations that freaking Zeus is doing.
Well,
I
they
get that
wanted to
he's
make him
old,
shaky.
but oh
Yeah, that was really bad.
whoa. What are we in the 1990s? What the heck?
It gets worse.
Good lord.
But again, like, if you look at the wind effects, like, I thought
Right, the
that
wind
looks...
effects
That's
they
good.
look good.
And then frozen. Panning shot.
Okay, that's a
Panning shot.
ridiculous amount of detail for
What in the world do you
that. What the heck was that all about?
raise your voice against the all-powerful like that?
She has a ridiculous amount of detail on.
Oh, at least her chin's moving this time.
This is why you should try this is
Panning
why you
shot.
cut out this is why you cut out excess fat, right? Is
Yes.
because like in order for animation to work, you need to be able to move every single part of the body, right?
Yes.
In rigging animation. So as a quick aside, rigging animation is literally you build like a puppeted 2D character and you move it like that, right? You
Yes.
put it on rigs and stuff. The main rule of rigging animation is that there should not be
And I
a
don't
single
know.
piece of the body
Yeah.
that is like still or like in the same position because it just makes the rigging animation look fake, right?
I
It
also
just
don't know
makes
what
it
it is
bad.
about her touching her waist, but it doesn't look like she's actually making contact. It looks like she's floating just above it. Like she was made first, and then she was inserted into a scene to just
It
add her in.
is I think it's because I don't know, like they could have done
Like
something
she's
with
not interacting with her cloth at all.
yeah, that's the weird part. Like the hair isn't interacting with her.
It just
Again,
feels jarring.
it's a stylistic difference too. Because look at how detailed the freaking giant is compared to this little sister.
To be fair, it is
That's
pretty similar like that in the fucking manga.
I don't like that though. But in the manga, it felt a lot more cohesive for some reason.
Yeah.
It just
Actually, first thing I
don't know.
noticed in the manga is that they were incredibly different. Almost
but
too different.
Yeah, but the thing is, it still felt cohesive. I didn't mind it in the manga. Also, guys, if you don't know anything about like animation, the reason why you can get away with this amount of detail in like a comic and a manga is because you are drawing one panel at a time, maybe like I don't know, 3 or 4 panels a page, uh, and for 26 doggone pages or whatever. But in animation, you are drawing, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, three frames. You're drawing three to max out to 24. So you're basically drawing let's see, 3 divided by 24, 8 drawings per second for 23 minutes. This is why you do not add too much detail
Yes.
because your animators won't be able to move anything.
And of course, it's still compensating with zooming and panning.
The power and the benevolence of all the gods. Why not put humanity to the test?
Oh my
It
gosh.
just goes on for way too long. None of the background characters ever move. Later on, sometimes the background characters move, but like in this first episode, just fucking stagnant the entire episode. Oh, they're talking, but you don't see any lips moving.
That's a weird background choice that they chose.
It's because we're recycling the background shots.
I know, but they're doing it poorly.
You can't be serious.
And what's with all this split screen
It's a
nonsense?
special provision from Article 62
Like, there's
of
not a
the
better
Federal
way of doing
Constitution.
that.
It stipulates the
Well,
following.
there is, but it seems like they're purposely trying to be lazy. I don't know why. Records of Ragnarok is like the perfect property for like a good studio to showcase how good they are at animating, because 90% of the show is fights. But this is a great showcase on how lazy this studio is.
Fighters representing the gods.
Ay, ay, ay.
Like, look at this. Even this shit looks terrible.
7 matches wins. If humanity loses, it would face
Oh, come on. You know what? When it comes down to animation, you don't even have to use a. You don't even have to like. You don't have to be the most detailed ever. However, you can like create. You can show your creativity by making it engaging and stuff like that. I think the best way. One of the best examples I've
Panic
ever
shot?
seen from a
Panic shot?
background from a
Panic shot?
background from a
Panic shot?
from a backstory perspective would probably be Kill Bill or even the Croods, because like that stuff is animated. It's so simple, but it's like
Oh,
so
they animated a beak. Another beak. It's like one asset can only move on screen at a time. Another panic shot.
Do they not know anything about like overlapping action? Like you could have
Another panic shot?
you could have actually made, you know, the crow's wings flap and crap like that as they're talking.
Yes. Animals are very movement based.
Look at Disney and you will see that.
Oh, her eyes are gyrating in between two frames. That's cool.
Her eyes are always gyrating.
That's true. No, don't tell me. I might be wrong, but that means...
Then her hair is just so stiff.
It also feels like the voice actors are phoning it in, but like I don't blame them. If this is the property you have to work on, I wouldn't put in any fucking work. Clearly, the animators didn't care about their property enough to do a good job. I wouldn't fucking give a good performance.
I wonder if it's
Panic
the
shot.
animators didn't care, or it was that they were at such they had such time restraints that they weren't able to like give it the care that it needs.
But look at it, like it's just too egregious to be like non-intentional.
Well, you say that, but then like there was stuff like Dragon Ball Super, right? Where there were some things in Dragon Ball Super that just looked god awful, but it was because the animators were so rushed.
Yeah,
right?
but this is only like 12 episodes. Oh, finally, a little bit of animation.
Of course, Brunhilde knew
Oh, another panic shot. With focus blurs. Cool.
Just as I thought.
Panic shot.
The gods have much shorter tempers than humans do.
They use the eyes a lot for their movement aspect.
A proper Ragnarok.
Oh, Zeus is gyrating again.
Quite pleased you brought it up.
And this is like, that was the scene when he was supposed to say, that idea is an absolute fucking unit, and then slam dunk the dragon. But, remember how you said, over just saving the budget for fights? That seems like the perfect thing to save the budget for. But instead, they just cut it out entirely.
Oh no.
My head. Surely I'm not alone here.
And then fade in shot.
The rest of you are intrigued as well, no?
Oh, wow.
Well, that they could have done a lot better.
Oh,
with
she
that.
moved 2 frames down.
Display of strength and authority.
He didn't move.
He didn't at all.
I'm really glad you showed me a character who's just going to be a slideshow.
Brawl between man and nature.
Another panic shot, no animation.
Unlike any the world has ever seen.
No animation. The effects guy doing the work.
Where was the effects guy when freaking Odin, not Odin, Zeus's eye showed? Because that would have been a perfect time for effect.
Oh, they're cheering, but none of them are moving. Did a character repeat in that shot? 1 second. No.
Okay, now the one wing is flapping. Really?
between the eternal and ephemeral was set in motion. The Ragnarok.
Now
This is
they
also
hear.
going to be a common theme. a lot of times the characters are gonna stay completely motionless, well, just for closing their hair and move.
Vanguard to represent them. I'll permit you to choose candidates on their behalf.
You know, I've seen the same thing done in like 1990s shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
The
it's
thing is,
2020, bro.
yeah, they have an excuse. Because, you know, Japan back then, animators were put on a shoestring budget. Like, it was almost like Scooby-Doo in a way. This, however, this is just disappointing.
This is egregious. In this day and age, this style, no matter what time constraints you're on, is unacceptable. Because a fucking 18-year-old who had just learned animation on YouTube could make something better.
And yet the effects guy is doing all the work.
He's carrying
That's
the show.
the funny part. Because all the effects so far have been
Oh, the worst scene's
awesome.
about to come up.
Really?
Well, cheering, freeze framed.
Okay, once again, I can understand
Panning.
that because crowd scenes are kind of dumb. But still, you could at least
Then
have
don't
some
show
people-
them for so long. Freeze frame. This is war shot.
Whoa, what?
Count.
What?
How many poncho men can you count? I count one,
Are
two,
those
three,
characters CGI?
4. Oh yeah, all of them.
Oh
And then of
my
course,
God.
don't worry, it's not as bad because this poncho man's wearing a blue one.
Jesus Christ! Not only that,
And then you have Barack Obama about 6 times. You have a guy in Chinese garb about 6 times. You have little Muslim woman about 8 times. You have a Japanese man sitting behind himself multiple times.
This is unacceptable.
Oh, and then it lingers on this frame as they're talking with their no faces.
This is not okay.
This is the worst. This is literally the worst thing. Like, let me just count at how long this goes on. It goes on for an awkward amount of time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
It lingers on that horrible shot with no animation and their characters talking with no faces for 4 seconds.
That's absurd.
With a CG frozen background. It does
You
not
know-
take much effort to animate a CG crowd to at least move. But no, they couldn't at least do that. And they couldn't at least have separate assets for the different people on screen.
You know, you could have just done what Records of Ragnarok, the comic, did, and just kind of like have them plastered onto the background or something. A little murmur. less
Bro, it's better
detail,
that you
know?
just trace the panels. Come on.
But that was just terrible. Really?
And let's get some more
I don't-
scenes
I don't-
with only one asset moving at a time.
I don't even like it when like freaking Baki on Netflix like transfers over into 3D aspects for like their fights. I hate that crap.
It is nowhere near as bad as this.
Exactly.
I've been waiting for this for ages. The moment I find
Oh boy. Alrighty then.
That looks
Once
alright.
again, the effects guy is carrying this.
Yeah, but this scene also goes on for way fucking too long. Oh, another panning shot. Oh, he's just oscillating in between 3 frames. Oh, panning shots. Everyone's favorite.
What is with their split screen? on
Fucking
this?
frozen again.
Okay, that was really good.
Panning shot. Panning shot. Frozen shot. Frozen shot.
It's amazing how lifeless they.
Effects guy
Whoever
doing the
effects guy-
work.
Whoever the effects guy is needs a
Oh
raise.
wow, they made him stand up. That's where all the budget. They ran out. He stood up. That's all the budget. Oh, another frozen panning shot. Another frozen shot. This goes on for way too long. We're literally in different art styles with different lighting while we're standing with that crowd. This is terrible.
Hey.
This is actually awful. They couldn't even match their environment, so their color scheme.
This technical, oh my gosh, the technical side of this was an absolute catastrophe.
At least the 2D background artist doesn't repeat crowds.
Exactly.
But this is just awful, bro.
Why do you... There is, like, no bodily expression. Like, there is no freaking subtle expression at all. And that bothers me so much. Like, because you understand, there's a thing called nonverbal communication. And there is nothing showing that.
A panning shot. This looks all horrible. Now, this shit's kind of fucking epic, but all the instruments are really terrible. Like, don't show me this shit. Please don't show me this. I hate this.
Alright, guys, so I'm a 2D. I'm not 3D. I've never worked in 3D. In fact, I have to do one. But I'm not interested in working with 3D. However...
Effects man carrying it. This shit's awesome, though. Frozen crowd. React to way too many reaction shots with no animation. Titty jiggle. Very important.
I guess we know where the budget went. See, that was a perfect way to do that shot. It didn't linger too long. Everybody moved, and it kept.
Oh, now we're panning again.
That was a perfect. Oh,
this looks dumb, but I kind of like it.
That was weird. That was weird.
This looks dumb, but I'm kind of here for it. Like, it's just the right amount of cheese. This is ridiculous. Because now we're specifically highlighting this guy, but everyone around him is dead still.
I don't even know what to say to that. There was so much wrong with that.
Like, look at it. She looks into a crowd. You can't acknowledge the crowd and then keep everyone around him frozen.
There's so much wrong with that. Just one thing. Why is her hair stiff? Oh, now, never mind.
He's going. I kind of love this shit. This shit makes me laugh so hard.
Representing the gods, here comes the Nordic force, the berserker of thunder himself.
I mean, nice cloth physics.
And of course, the hair's moving. Everything else completely still. There is no wind. Don't worry about it. Effects man doing the work again.
Oh my gosh, for real? Like, oh yeah.
Oh, this is. Oh, not yet. But the next shot with the Valkyries is kind of awful as well. It just lingers too long with them in the background but talking. Another reaction shot.
That goes on for way too long.
You know how they just met? They don't do their first hit until like here. So there's about 7 more minutes of dialogue before anything happens.
Are you kidding me? They're right there. They're next to each other at this point.
Oh, you're gonna be pretty jarred by this one.
Wait.
Wait for it.
Did he just
wait for it.
Alright, that one's pretty common.
Like, he's animated okay.
Yeah. Why No. We cannot just. We did not. No, you cannot just run past that.
Can we get
No,
an instant replay on that
run,
one?
run that back frame by frame. No, just.
Can we get that
there
one
is-
more time, but real slow this time?
There is so much wrong with that. Where do I even begin? What the heck just happened? I I don't even know what to say to that. Look at this nonsense. Look at that. No. 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 What? Oh my gosh.
I think it makes it
Oh
even
my
better
God.
that there's a CG crowd behind him.
You know, there are times I have submitted my resume and my demo reel to multiple people, multiple network, not networks, but studios. And, there are just times where you just think to yourself, it's like, man, this means that there's something in my skill set that's missing, something not right.
Well, you can't animate barrels like this, Keyshawn. That's clearly what you're missing.
I I am so upset about that. Like, you have no idea how upset that makes me. Like, this almost feels like a slap in the face. It is not as bad as Rap City Street Kids. No, Rap City Street Kids is like 10,000 times worse than this. But this is on the side of, I can't believe I'm watching this right now.
This
like-
is a Netflix original, bro.
Oh my
Remember
God.
when that used to mean quality?
Listen. I must just say this right now. And it's really hard. I have to really watch what I say, because I don't want to get blacklisted for saying crap that you're not supposed to say and stuff like that. I'm trying to give an honest, fair critique, right? With that being said,
Here's an honest, fair critique. This is horrible and lazy, and it shouldn't be in this show. It is egregious to not just animation, but to the entire art style that is anime. This shits on everything that Records of Ragnarok was, and is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in not the good way. It makes fun of the original medium in a way that is a travesty.
yeah. Oh my gosh. CGI. CGI should only be used in very certain cases. If you're gonna use CGI, this is the golden rule of CGI. I'm not a 3D artist.
There's a golden
but
rule of
I know-
CGI. Fucking don't.
If you do, right? If
Paint
you
over
do,
it.
if you do, then you gotta make the CGI mix in with the art style, right?
Paint
You have
over your
to-
CGI. CGI is not a handicap. It's a tool that you can use to help trace your art on top of. If a perfect example of this is what Ufotable has done with Demon Slayer and Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works. All three of those shows have a lot of CG assets, especially during the fight scenes. You just never notice because they use the CG in pre-production, and they just use it as a guidelines for how their 2D animated characters should be moving around the environment and scene in a way that feels real, so their characters can have real impact.
Here's
This
a perfect
is terrible.
Here's a perfect example of this. There's a music video out there, and it's by Freak Microwave. I believe that's what they're called. Freak Microwave. And there's a music video that they have where it has beautiful animation, right? It has beautiful animation. But it was done via CGI. The way they did it was that they CGI'd the movements, right? And then they drew over it. So it's 2D, but everything is tracked via CGI. So all they had to do was draw over it so that they could actually, like, get everything done. And it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. but that's usually how you should use CGI. I've seen I've seen different ways of using CGI, and I'm not gonna say that like, oh, CGI should never be used in a 2D animation. No, obviously that's not true. But like, there's a good way and a bad way of doing it,
This
and
is not okay.
this is obviously the bad way of doing it. It's not good, like
We're
at all.
we're gonna continue past this because I'm pretty
I
sure everyone
just
knows why this is bad.
I don't even know what to say to this. It's amazing. Like Freak Kitchen. It's called Freak Kitchen Freak of the Week.
Or am I right?
That is what it is.
Since when was he the toughest
Like,
hero
this
to
minimum
fight?
animation is fine for the spectators, but when they're the actual main people in the fight, like, he's animated pretty well. I don't know why the 3 spectators that we see look better than the fucking, like, characters that we see before.
Answer might be different if one were measuring strength by one's pure ability as a warrior.
Which would make the toughest man in the 3 kingdoms.
This is
I also kind of love how we're all sitting on top of each other. I find that pretty funny.
Ain't that right?
that's so weird. That was weird. That was a weird animation right there. That's a weird segment. Why did they CGI the flags?
I don't know. It's so weird seeing them all talk in unison.
All your men are here. Let us watch over you. Whenever you are on the battlefield, we shall be right there beside you. Such glory. I never imagined it, sir. The day I'd get to
Okay, so there's like almost no real animation going around here.
No.
It's mostly just compositing.
There's
Okay, there
also
we go.
way too much fucking exposition. This scene, like that was like
Like-
a second with characters with no faces.
Like Records of Ragnarok had a lot of exposition.
Look at this.
In the
It's
manga,
frozen.
but again, it's a manga.
That goes on for way too long.
It seems you doubt that humanity stands a chance.
And why the fuck are they just walking around the stadium? They can't stay still. They're just moving back and forth.
I'm certain every god that's gathered here today believes the same.
Can they not find a seat? What the fuck is going on?
That's why
To be fair, they were doing that in the manga as well, but it's just something I just noticed that really fucking bothers me.
now's the best time for them to kick their asses.
I don't know.
I said
That was good up until like the mouth movement.
that's right, sister.
Please. You know, you have a filthy mouth sometimes, sis.
Here's another tip. You never want your characters in profile, like full on profile, because it usually like looks weird. It goes for it's the same way for the back too. God dang,
This
the
is
effects
this is
person
terrible too.
really
According to the Edda of Norse
Well, the effects are good, but
the
the
effects person is really carrying
the
this
music
show.
choice for this horn is absolutely terrible. Like, just listen to this shit. Frozen, and that's a recycled scene. This Zeus shot's recycled. Both these shots are recycled.
May they be extinguished.
You know, you could have the characters blink. I just
What do you mean gods don't blink?
that's a great way to like, you know.
Do you think this is the sound that's supposed to come out when you see this shit? You can hear it, right? Or do I need to turn up the volume a bit? I'm gonna...
Turn it up. Let's see. The heck?
This is the most underwhelming shit I have ever heard.
That is so underwhelming for something. The effects make it look so powerful.
In my head, there's only 2 right choices for that. There's either you make it a blaring like foghorn, just like just shout out the start of like this epic battle that's going to take place, or you go epic and you start going with Ride of the Valkyries.
Honestly,
because it's thematic, it
I-
fits in, and it sounds awesome. Unlike whatever the fuck they're playing here.
honestly, I would have expected a war horn. you know, from Lord of the Rings or something of that nature. That would have probably been a good sound effect for the horn.
But somehow they managed to pick the worst choice. This doesn't sound awesome. It just sounds underwhelming.
The battle begins and the fight has not
And
started.
of course,
Okay, that was cool.
the fucking
that was
effect
nice.
dude carrying that again. That was just him going 3 frames back and just not moving, and the effect dude doing all the work.
That was nice though.
May the first round commence. What are they doing?
Why aren't they?
Oh wow, 2 background characters talked. This is a fucking miracle.
That is a ridiculous amount of detail. There is no absolute way that they were gonna make that move the entire time.
Oh, that's because they fucking didn't. They just panned up. The floor is CG and they don't even track with the feet. The feet are moving faster than the floor is.
Why is the effects the only thing that's actually tracking better than the freaking floor? What the heck?
I had a feeling things might go this way.
At least
So,
he's moving
does
when he
every-
talks.
So does everybody have like concrete for hair? Is that how that works? No one's hair is like moving at all when they move.
There's no soap in heaven, bro.
Bro, what? Okay, there, his hair moved. God. Finally.
Don't worry, in the next shot, they're just going to be a fuck ton of effects for no reason. The hair and the clothes are just going to be going off.
Didn't
Oh,
the battle
standing
start?
perfectly still.
Know what he's doing, right?
Oh, the
Didn't the
battle
battle
started
start?
7 minutes ago, bro.
He's kind of underestimating what he's up against.
Oh my gosh.
So-called strongest live their lives.
They're still, we're still in the exposition phase.
Why?
They've been walking towards each other for the past 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh, they still haven't taken the first strike.
Although these two
And by the way, just so you guys know, all this stuff that's moving, this is all done in like post-production. Oh, that blue and purple crap in the backgrounds and stuff, that's all done in post. So like only the actual animation stuff that's right there, that's done in pre-production.
Oh, look, the hair's moving, but nothing else is for some fucking reason.
Why did he just stop?
Effects dude going fucking off. All the scenes carry on for way too long. Like, it just minimizes the impact of anything happening. Because of how slow everything seems.
Good God, that felt like nothing.
It felt like an hour. And
What
guess
is
what?
up with this?
That's the end of the first episode. They only hit each other once.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No. Wait a second.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait a. Oh my God.
That was 22 minutes. And it plays the ending.
Oh.
And there's one more thing I want to show you. This is probably the most egregious thing. So I've only seen 2 episodes because I want to see how the Atom fight went. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, also the fucking the Thor versus Lu Bu fight. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes.
What?
Yeah.
You know, animation is supposed to make things go faster, not slower. Good God. Good Lord.
Where's the scene where they do a little dance? Oh yeah, here it is. A CG character and a 2D character.
Sorry? I'm sorry. Hold up. What? Why? And then they transition back to. Oh my gosh.
It gets worse as it goes.
They're not even moving in that one.
Of course not.
Do you have so excited?
Haven't got a clue.
What are those creepy gyrations?
So weird.
Who does that old geezer think he is?
At least the crowd's talking now.
Whatever displeases him is sent back to the void.
And then he does his animation, which that didn't look that bad.
Not
But-
at all. In fact, it actually almost looked good. It almost looked great.
Almost.
But
Amazing.
A celestial performance fit for a god.
What can I
is that
say?
Beethoven and
Always
Sebastian
gets me
Bach? Or
Yes. And then, of course, it's like, this is all, like, introductions for, like, the Adam and Zeus fight.
What is wrong with Adam?
I don't know. They picked a weird voice actor as well. And just to get a little idea of, like, the fight animation,
Ooh.
it's just everything taking way,
Really?
way too long
Really?
for nothing to happen.
Looks like he's about to be.
And then more spectating. So it takes a full 2 minutes for something to happen when nothing happens. And then the effect guy carries the show.
I don't even know what to say to this. Like,
Oh, you
they-
are good. I'm very impressed.
I can't explain this away with limited time.
This fight simply by running away.
It's just egregious.
Oh, I'm keenly aware.
I want to know the story behind this, the backstory, because it's just like,
So,
you-
how about...
I mean, what do I even say to that? It's just like, really?
The way he moved just now.
It takes way
Oh
too
my gosh.
long.
Oh, pretty good.
Nothing has impact. This looks awful.
You know, JoJo and One Punch Man did this better,
Here I go.
and
Meteor jab.
This is
Really?
terrible. This is like god awful.
That's my.
really?
Next up is... Divine Axe.
Hey guys, when you slow things down, they have less impact. And when you grind them to the halt, they have no impact.
Yeah, they don't know how to animate. Like, how are they gonna, like, not make it?
This is gonna be some
And then, of course, he doesn't fucking move.
It has Adam dodged Zeus.
This is just awful. It's just all awful. So,
Oh, at
anyway,
least we know that Adam likes marijuana. He's smoking the good crap.
and, like, unless the last episode drastically changes, it stays the same terrible consistency. Oh, panning shots. Who would have guessed?
Wait, I think this is just after he won the fight.
Yes. But more still panning shots. More still panning shots.
This is the
Oh,
12th
wow,
this is the
great. They
final
they
episode.
shook around the panning shots as well. This
Okay,
is
what's
this
the
is the
tran-
final
what does the
episode.
tran- What does the transformation look like? I'm very curious about that. What the heck does the transformation of the swords? No. Like it should be in this episode, because if I remember right from the manga, no, it should be past the point we were at, where where he faints and then they transform back to help him up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Fighting made me
let's
so
see.
tired.
Kojiro.
Oh come
Oh.
on, guys!
Oh yeah, you thought there'd be an animation? No, the effects guy just made some little swishies.
Come on, guys! Even Pokemon could. has like those little light beam effects that transform into like the solid figure.
This
That's
is
just unacceptable. That's just ridiculous. Like,
seems about
they didn't even
expected
try.
for how terrible this is. People were telling me when I did the trailer review that, oh no, I was gonna be wrong. It's probably still gonna be good. And I was like, they're putting their best foot forward with this trailer, and this is what I'm seeing. So I don't think it's gonna live up. And and I have to say, I was wrong. It's done nothing but exceed my expectations in how bad it's gonna be.
Right. Like I had no interest in seeing the show because I already knew even before the trailer dropped that it probably wasn't going to be the best. The reason why is, like I said, rule of thumb is that the more detailed something is, the less and less it would probably move because that takes up time to make everything move fluidly. This, however, is way past that point. I don't know what to say for a lot of this stuff. It's just the things are put into it. CGI is not a crutch. Okay, CGI is not something that you should that if you can't get it on 2D, you should just put it in CGI. That's not how this works. Like at all. CGI, if used, should be drawn over. And if you don't draw it over, it should at least be masked so that it looks like Attack on Titan used CGI. And the third season of Attack on Titan, when they use CGI, looks horrible
You mean the
with
final
the
season?
freaking no, the third season with the Colossal Titan fight.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
that fight looked horrible. It just looked so bad. But I understand why they did it. It's because the detail of the Colossal Titan is ridiculous, and I get that. And drawing over it would take just as much time. So I get that. But in the final season, it looked better.
Yeah, but it
I
was still
can't say that it was
CG and pretty clear at that. And
right.
well,
It's
that's
like it
because
looked
Mappa has an A team and a B team, and their A team was working on Jujutsu Kaisen, and their B team was working on Attack on Titan, the not so final season.
it was like it looked better, but it wasn't there yet. It was
Yeah.
just like it was on the way, but it
I don't know
wasn't
how
there yet.
animation from like 2014 looks fucking better than what we have 6 years later. But whatever. It's just a laziness of studios, and this is a clear showing of ineptitude and just not caring on the part of the studio.
Who was the studio who did this?
I don't even want to know. I think I looked at. I'll look it up now. Uh, Ragnarok had caps on. Wikipedia.
Studio Graphinica. Graphinica.
Uh, yeah, they've made fucking nothing.
They were founded in 2009, focused in 3D CG and 2D animation. Their works, Boku wa Osama. Never heard of it. Zodiac War, Restage, Tokyo Mew Q?
They
What?
did
What?
some work in episodes 8 and 10 of Hellsing Ultimate, but that seems like the only thing
I'm
of
pretty
note, and I don't think they had any like actual hand in producing it. They've only worked on a few episodes, they've made a few full series, none of them are fucking noteworthy. All of these shows are to be determined. Anyway,
a lot of the films that they work on also kind of look very I would say bland.
yeah. Records of
I mean,
Ragnarok has been a disappointment. Um, that's all that I can say. Don't watch it. Read the manga. We should end this before this is over an hour long. So,
ay, ay, ay.
thank you guys for sticking with us. If you did, if you want to see more content like this, remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see what I originally thought of the trailer, that will be linked in the description. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.
See ya.